Our ancestors were mere humble cave people, and they evolved, learning to make stone tools, and well, after a long time, metal tools as well. Today, I'm going to replicate this evolution in Minecraft, starting as a tiny brain caveman and expanding my knowledge to achieve caveman dreams of space travel. With the perfect name for our world created, we were birthed into life. With no knowledge of the world around, we gathered up rocks. Yes, many rocks. And when our hunger started to develop, we resorted to big brain ideas with poor execution. Gathering up anything we could find, the sun began to set, and the evils of the night emerged. Using our trusty rocks, I was able to defend my honor and obtain things that were beyond my knowledge. But then I made a breakthrough discovery. Hitting this flint on a rock would make, well, sharper flint, which guided me to my first man-made tool. The dawn of millennia of deforestation begins here. With adequate lumber, I used the power of friction to create the first fire. Fire, wolf, fire, keep us safe. What I did next is what any caveman would have done. Now that we had fire, I was able to create campfire. And oh no, the big brains did not stop there. The creation of a pickaxe was made to expand into stone tools. And I fixed myself a spear to defend off the wildlife. I found that we needed fire under the fireplace to actually cook our food. But in order to harness the true power of cooking, we would need more mystical items, which led me deep into the wilderness. I arrived at the Darklands. I harvested the woods of the darkness and made my escape before any unsightly creatures would arrive. With my small-mindedness and little sense of direction, I became a lost sheep with no shepherd to find me. In essence, our campfire was lost. I stumbled into some lovely people who were a bit ahead of my time. Maybe I could learn from them and study their ways, so I decided to make base nearby their settlement. With my newfound dark wood, I was able to create a cart for many storage. Making my beloved cook place again, with my belly full, I made a grind wheel to turn plants into powder. This allowed me to water down hide from the animals I befriended to invent leather. Yes, there we go, finally, the leather. Taking down some of the brushes and combining it with the leather, I was able to create myself a small home, a teepee of sorts. With good sleep, I made my way into the world of rituals, using drums and wind chimes with totems to summon the Wild West buffalo. While indeed still babies, I waited for them to grow by heading back to the Darklands, making sure to mark my path. This time, I was here for the unsightly creatures, prepared for them, mainly as they had something I needed, small granular gems. Returning home, my buffalo had grown into adulthood, which I rewarded them with a treat to make more buffalo, not only to harvest them for their strong bones, but their strong willpower as well. And even still, that wasn't enough to make a mythical gem, so back to the scary lands I had to go, to defeat more powerful foe, one that would drop a full gem, and not just small fragments. With this gem, I was able to make a millstone, capable of grinding up things better than the grindstone, which sparked the creation of charcoal and porcelain. With a melter and heater from the porcelain, we evolved, expanded our brain to new levels, science is being unlocked, and we made our way into the Bronze Age. Being able to create a sweet, normal crafting table and normal chests. With this expanded knowledge, I gathered up some of the ores from loving Mother Nature. And with the power of charcoal, I made molten tin, an advancement for all mankind. But I wanted more, so I stripped away at the sweet coal of the earth, no longer needing the younger brother charcoal. We were on to better things. With the taste of fresh ore still in my mouth, I went in search of copper in all of its glory. Now filled to the brim with copper, I devised a way to get that tin into my hands in one massive chunk. With a nice stone anvil, I smashed with passion into ingots and made way for the copper. With some bricks made from clay, I created a big boy furnace capable of harnessing the power of both copper and tin to create beautiful bronze. Now's where things take a bit of a turn for our beloved caveman. We made a snare which, when thrown at an enemy, can steal their demonic will. With the will of that soul, I created an altar, which led me to this here book. I went down into the sketchy lands of these things and stole something from them, a statue of sorts. With the power of the statue feeding into my book, I created yet another ritualistic site. Yes, we cavemen love our rituals. But to complete this ritual, we needed something deep in the depths of the ocean. So a-searching I went, and with a bit of luck, I stumbled into this ravine that had just what I needed. With a sacrificial blade made, I filled the altar with my own blood to turn the sea ore into something unique, which completed our ritual, which gave us an item to enter. Oh, very, very welcoming indeed. Here we found black quartz and had to be wary of the darkness, as if we stayed in it too long, it would devour us. This black quartz allowed me and my friends to develop something extraordinary. The water wheel. Capable of small automation. I was able to create something magnificent, even better than the water wheel, the bucket. Capable of transporting water to wherever my heart desires. The perfect tool for anyone wanting to farm the lands beneath them. Back into the place of darkness, I had to find a special gem that would help me with yet another ritual to create a new type of crafting table and expand our brain even more into the Iron Age. I got started in the world of stencils, and I knew that there were many new tools I could be making. With the millstone now automatic, no more hand cranking necessary. I made some grout which when turning up the heat on it, you get seared bricks. That's right, we are making our way into the world of Tinker's Construct. But there was a very important piece of the puzzle missing: more random gems. In order to get this gem, however, it would be dangerous, so I mined up some iron and I smelted it down and made the first iron pickaxe. This pickaxe in turn allowed the accumulation of gold and discovery of stardust straight from the heavens. Now, in order to progress our knowledge further, I would need to find a druid circle deep in a swamp. After doing more traveling than I would like, I found myself a swamp that had exactly what I was looking for. Strange beings with cloaks attacked me, and after defeating enough of them, I combined the pieces they dropped to make a talisman. With this item, I was able to grow a magical tree that would transfer me to an alternate dimension, the Betweenlands. A nasty place that was just one big swamp. There was just one item I had to find there. I was able to find sulfur in the rocks, and down in a cave I found more strange ores and random beasts. The sulfur was useful for making torches, which helped me light up the environment, as normal torches would not work here. After much spelunking, I found one of the items I was looking for. This octine allows me to make a purifier to acquire my aqua gem from the lands of the Betweenlands. With this, I had the heart for my Tinker's Foundry. I gathered up more items to make grout to erect my foundry towards the skies. I used my foundry to get started on making myself a new weapon. Went for the rapier, as it ignores armor. Sadly though, it breaks really fast. To go into the world of the stars, I discovered some rock crystals and made myself a special wand. With my newfound crafting table, I waited till night for the starlight to collect and used my wand to craft a bin. This bin uses the crystals to collect liquid starlight, which upgraded our crafting table. But to harness the true power of the crafting table, I need this here thing that shows me where the starlight collects in the world. Building yet another ritual looking thing gave the crafting table more power. All this for a star metal ingot, which when thrown in water takes us to a new dimension, the Twilight Realm. Here, there were many bosses I would need to defeat to get certain items. But first, I would need to prepare. I started by getting some gold nuggies and finding live-root underground. With this ironwood, I was able to make new armor that comes pre-enchanted. I ventured into the hedge maze and started to fight with the giant snake Naga, the snake which was easily taken down. Now onto the castle where the Lich King lies. Up at the top of the castle, I used his own magic against him, deflecting his pearls. As a pro gamer, this fight was easy as well. With the head of the king, I was able to go into the forest and unlock the dungeon. Going down below, I defeated a bunch of enemies, some dropping these night shards. Eventually, I made it to the boss room. With this powerful bow I found in the chest, it was the easiest fight so far. All I had to do was rain down arrows. This fight rewarded me with some nice new armor. Now onto the main attraction, the whole reason we came. Fighting up the massive castle, I found lots of new items, including these bad boys. Once towards the top, I was able to gather a generator and some gas tiers. Now time for the final boss, the Urghast. Using my bow, I was able to do damage to it in the sky. However, when the minions deployed, I took them down to power up this thing. And once the Urghast was above it, it would suck it down and allowed me to strike it with my sword. Once its health was depleted, I was rewarded with bottles of its bloody tears. Just have to do that 3 more times. Now that we acquired enough tears, we could make fiery ingots to make fiery gears out of those tears. With yet another upgrade to our crafting table from the heavens, I waited until nightfall, when our table could harness its true power. But wait, actually we had to build these annoying things to bounce even more power into the crafting table. And with just enough power, we let the heavens do heavenly heaven things, and craft ourselves a coal engine. With just a touch of this, froze the world in time, as we had a knowledge overload. So much knowledge that a mere mortal brain couldn't comprehend such power. My brain's gonna... Into the industrial age, I had a celebration brownie. Yes, it looks like that because it's the corner piece, alright? With my knowledge overload, I made slime boots and the sling slime slung sling. I used the sling to travel many distances. At this time, my chat convinced me to do something drastic. Play Fortnite. After having to sling slung back to base, I ended up finding what I was looking for. There was no way to acquire obsidian as my caveman brain acquired diamonds, just not smart enough to make a pickaxe out of them. So with a flint and steel, I lit that baby up. Well, now my caveman made it into heaven. Here we journeyed along till we found one of these magnificent places. I was able to snag some nice wart of the nether and collect a few rods from the Blazy Boys. Getting out of this wonderful amusement park of sorts, I had made a special hoe to plant me the nether wart, and after discussing the sugar content of Mountain Dew, we went in search of a new ore. Aluminum, and then a bit of cinnabar. It's redstone. Now it's to get my inner engineer on. I made a coke oven to make some good old coke, not that kind. This coke, when put into a blast furnace with iron, somehow makes steel. But hey, we get good old Jerry out of this. With steel ready for mass production, I moved on to the fancy stuff, getting this core sample thingy. But in order for this to actually function, I would need to invent electricity. So a nice little windmill was made. I ran the power into a battery and then into the core thingy. Sadly though, there's no oil here. Luckily, since I have a fully charged battery, I could just move the core to test different spots. And then we struck oil. I made a small little area and placed down enough blocks to make an oil pump. I hooked up the windmills nearby and slapped on some panels to make one spin faster, resulting in more electricity. With a silo to store the oil made and the windmills barely giving any power, I devised a plan to harness the real power of industrial electricity, water wheels. And not just one water wheel tuned to perfection, but 4 indeed, generating enough electricity to power one oil pump. Yeah, this is trash. It said it needs 1,000 power to run fast. We have 25. No matter, we don't need it to be fast, we just need it to run. Taking a bit of a break, I went and gathered up materials to craft some new tools. Knightly tools. This pickaxe let me get obsidian, which in turn got an enchantment table for, well, enchanting. With my fancy sword, I had a nice visit from Lord Bartholomew Scott Mangle. Who is this man? He's fine. Next, it was back to a new project, a distillation tower, which was a tower indeed, which takes our oil and makes diesel. Looking more construction man, I got a silo made for that, and got going on a metal press to make things a bit easier for me. Me arms were tired from all the hammering. I upgraded my pickaxe and sword, not only giving more durability, but made them look cooler. That's the only thing that matters. Now to solve our power issue, I got to work making a lightning rod, which I hope will work. And for another project, I made this solar tower. It wouldn't take any electricity though. So in turn, I had to make these solar rays, kind of like the Omega crafting thing from the heavens. But ran into one problem. It just wouldn't work. Will our beloved caveman ever fulfill his dreams of riding a rocket straight into this planet? Thanks to all of our YouTube members that helped support the channel.